Treadit 3. Treadit Impossible 3. Captain Treadit Civil War. Treadit with a Vengeance. Yeah, watch out. This time,
I'm out for blood.
let's see what's poppin' on Christian Reddit. What's your funniest church story? Back in high school, we invited a pretty crazy guy from our school to church. During the end of the opening music, he started shouting at the top of his lungs. We were sitting in the balcony at the time, a pretty big church. Imagine if it was a small church and they're just sitting up on the balcony and there's nobody else in the church but like 5 different people are just sitting up there alone like, Amen. Amen, preacher. Amen. Oh, Lord have mercy, Carl. It's been over for an hour now. Come on, we need to get going home. I need to go make myself a pie. I don't know why I thought that was funny. We asked him what he was doing, and he said that's what he thought Protestant churches did. That's just a common misunderstanding. A lot of people think that this is what Protestant churches look like. Throughout the sermon, he proceeded to make paper airplanes out of the church bulletins and toss them over the edge. One drifted to the pulpit, and we got the most evil eye from the preacher. Probably something like that. Not surprisingly, the closing prayer dealt with a lot of focus and respect. That's a good one there. That made me laugh a lot, but the next ones get even crazier. Let's check this out. My dad, who tends to have a lot of gas, that's beautiful right there. Oh, what should I say about my dad? Yeah, he raised me. He's a father, so he farts a lot, so that's something. Who tends to have a lot of gas, ripped one during the middle of a very serious sermon. It was fairly loud, with the natural sounds amplified by the wooden pew. Why is he getting so detailed with this? My brothers and I giggled, and some people around gave my dad the stink eye. You clever little guy. And we thought that was it. Then the smell hit me. A pungent cross between skunk and rotten eggs. Why are you so detailed? Why are you so detailed? Ew, dude. I didn't need to read that. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Get back in your corner. Corner guy is always acting up lately. My dad was repentant, but it did strike him funny that foul odor was going to embarrass him even more than the sound. He stifled a giggle, which set me and my brothers off again, even my mom. And that was all it took. We kept giggling, we trying to stifle it, and then it would just start all over. We kept getting dirty looks, and when the smell hit this old lady, she gave my dad a really dirty look and walked out. The poor old lady. What? She's at church. And you pervert the church air with this mix between a skunk and rotten eggs. Which, by the way, if you're gonna get this descriptive, you might as well use a couple of unique things to describe the poots as. Because that's what everybody's pooch smells like. That set us off on another fit of giggling that threatened to explode into doubled over belly laughter. At this point, we were cooked. So my parents got up and we followed them out of church. Once outside, we must have laughed for 10 minutes straight to get it all out of our systems. I must have been around 10, and it's still one of the most vivid memories I have about church. Now, that's a funny story. That's pretty good, honestly. It was really descriptive. Didn't think we needed that, but it was funny. What's even funnier is the comment right underneath it. Phenomenal real-life story. I don't know if that was sarcastic or what. I don't know if he thought that farts don't really exist. Oh, yeah. That's a really good story. Phenomenal. Real life. Oh, that really happened? No, yeah. That's real life, I'm pretty sure. So, phenomenal. My pastor was telling a story about preparing his son for the school Thanksgiving play, and he said his son was playing the part of Sasquatch. Sasquatch. When he meant Squanto. And he made this mistake several times and never corrected himself. I laughed fairly loud thinking he was joking, but no one else in the congregation caught the slip. The pastor went on with the story, and I spent the rest of the sermon suppressing my laughter from imagining the Pilgrims encountering Bigfoot in Massachusetts. Maybe they did. Maybe you are the one that's messing up. Maybe this pastor knows something that you don't, sir. Anthropology nerd. You're a nerd about anthropology, not Sasquatch, okay? This pastor, he's a nerd about Sasquatches. Just saying. Okay, a little bit of setup for the story. The youth pastor in this church is the main reason why many people from the high schools around come to this church because of how charismatic and funny he is. But at one point, he opens up about how he wishes that he would have abstained from sin with his wife before they got married. And apparently he just started breaking down crying in front of 40 people, this says. And then they go on to say that he started crying uncontrollably. The room was silent as we all watched this usually hilarious 30-year-old crying like a baby because he felt he had let his wife down. Suddenly the cell phone starts ringing at max volume of one of the high schoolers. And you know what? You're so not ready for this that I think I need to give you a little presentation of what this ringtone said. And that's it. I'm sorry.
Shake the laffy taffy, shake the laffy taffy, what? Shake the laffy taffy, shake the laffy taffy.
What? It begins repeating itself over and over again. Without moving his eyes, the youth leader reaches into his pocket and quietly says, "I'm gonna take this." What? It was his? That is so funny. Oh my gosh. He was crying his eyes out. And he knew he had the Laffy Taffy ringtone. He didn't forget, he just didn't have it on mute. That is so funny. Oh my goodness.
Shake the laffy taffy, shake the laffy taffy, what? Shake the laffy taffy,
I have to
shake the laffy taffy.
I'm sorry. Hey, what's up? You shaking that Laffy Taffy? Oh man. I know you are. Oh, I know you are. Oh, I know you are. I'm just imagining you sitting there being like,
shake the laffy taffy, shake the laffy taffy, what?
With a Laffy Taffy in your hand. Okay, yep, I gotta get back to something. Alright, that's fine. Love you too. Bye. When I was little, we were having a youth service, and this old 70-plus-year-old man came down and sat in the very back. While our pastor was closing in prayer, he just started farting really loud. Not another poot story! What? Why do we need 2 poot stories in one episode? Poots is a funny word. It makes me feel weird saying it, honestly. I guess when you're that old, you just really can't help it. Our pastor was praying and trying his hardest not to laugh, but was still cackling a little. What makes it even funnier is that he's 70 plus years old and they're having a youth service. What was he doing there? He just decided that, you know what? I feel a little gas coming on, so I don't need to be here at this point, but I just feel like I can, and I'm old, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Stephanie, leave me alone. This isn't as much funny as it is gross, but I still laugh thinking about it. I would go to various summer and winter camps in junior high, which would usually have a theme throughout the week, and we would be divided into teams for a fun competition. A game we would play was called What Would You Do for a Buck, and consisted of making us kids do gross things for $1. And the aforementioned team point. I had to eat jelly beans, which were lodged in between my best friend's two. Oh, dude! Listen here, Shiggity times 2. Shiggity, if I may, Mr. Shiggity. You needed to die with this one, dude. You needed to take this one to the grave. There's no reason you should be confessing this on a Christian Reddit. That is weird, man. To make it worse, my friends wrinkled and clenched his toes to purposely make it more difficult for me. Oh, man. Oh. A youth pastor also was shot with a paintball gun on stage with no shirt because he lost a bet that the Broncos would lose the Super Bowl that year. That's a little bit more of a lighthearted ending to it, but that first part made me feel weird inside, quite honestly. Anyway, that seems like a good, weird way to end this video. Anyway, if you like this video, I know you're gonna love this video right here. It's Christian Reddit number 2, and it is probably my favorite video I've ever made. So here it is right there. There's some funny, crazy stuff in this video. As always, see you next time.
Shake the Laffy Taffy, shake that Laffy Taffy, what? Shake that Laffy Taffy, shake that Taffy Taffy, shake that Laffy Taffy, shake that Laffy Taffy Taffy, shake that Laffy Taffy, shake that Taffy, what?